oh boy, don't you just love the Wes dance, the West dance, the Wesley dance? Fucking Wesley Snipes, what is it? What is the fucking Wes dance? Is that like from is in Wes the old man from Mother 3? As in him? Really? All right. Okay, the West dance. To do the Wes dance? That's right, oh, it's a song, by the way. Fuck you. That's right, people. Chris does the Wes dance. What? Marth, Guy, Priscilla, Rebecca, even Lucius and Raven were left speechless with those freaky Naruto eyes on their eyes. Okay. Except the guards who were watching the humiliating dance. All right, I'm gathering up my courage after all, Chris thought while dancing with weird moves. What in the world is that weird dance? Rebecca thought in shock. Is he crazy? Marth thought. Definitely, he's pretty much deaf. He's pretty much deaf, Guy thought. The guards were still a little surprised at the dance. Chris was sweating a lot during his play, and everyone else were staring in shock at him. Where did he learn of that dance? He was getting to the end of the dance now. After twirling around with his arms pointing to the rocky roof, he twirled over his feet, and finally he pointed at the roof with his finger of his left hand while his right hand was on his lap. Then he panted heavily, still sweating. Ellipsis. There was a moment of awkward silence following the dance. Something I want to point out right about the last episode is there was a really good opportunity for AuraChanneler Chris to write a great fight scene. The bit where it was Roy, Lynn, and Eliwood sort of gathered together, ready to fight off all the soldiers, right? And then they just get fucking Deus Ex Machina'd with the, Roy's mentor or whatever, with the loud, blustery voice. Well, that was my, artistic interpretation, of course. It is not canonical, I believe, in this text that he has a loud and blustery voice. That was merely my interpretation. Anyway, until the guards started to whistle at Chris and clapping their hands. They were in fact amazed for the dance, and Priscilla's group, Raven and Lucius, were left speechless and confused with their jaws wide opened. You're the best! Awesome! And many other cheers were coming from the guards. And Chris bowed to them in honor. Okay, what happened? Many other cheers were coming from the guards, and Chris bowed to them in honor. Thank you, Chris said, taking out a piece of paper with something written on it. Now the next act is kill the guards and rescue the prisoners while they're clapping at your host, Chris. Now stand there. What the fuck does that... What? That doesn't... Oh, okay. Chris said, grabbing back his sword, and Priscilla's group shook their heads, and they started their attack at the guards. Surprisingly, they were defeated in a second. Alright, so Chris evidently loses his hang-ups about murdering people. Victory, Chris said, turning into a chibi style of himself, making a thumbs up to the roof. You're just too excited, aren't you? A chibi style Rebecca appeared with eyes closed and arms pointing at the floor. Leaving the chibi style, Marth broke the lock of the cell. The door opened and Lucius, along with Raven, walked outside. Then Priscilla ran at Raven to hug him. Raven, I knew you were alive, she said with closed eyes. Priscilla, are you with them? Raven asked, surprised, and Priscilla stopped her action on him and nodded, smiling with some tears on her eyes. Yes! Not only that, I'm with an entire legion! Priscilla said. Raven looked at the others. Thanks for taking care of my sister. Let me show my gratitude by joining your legion. Lord Raven, if you let me, can I go with you? Lucius asked. Of course, Raven said, nodding. Chris looked around for safety. There's nobody close. Let's join the others now. Entrance. Oh wait, the music. Is that really necessary, though? Is it really necessary? With Mila... Wasn't there an episode called something about Mila? Of this, and one of the parts of this series. So I remember there being something about Mila. With Mila's divine protection, Celica Map 1. Fuck you! You know how this goes. Lynn's group was now infiltrating... You spelt it right that time. Infiltrating the castle and fighting against the guards, enemy archers and mages. The battle for the castle, maybe, has just begun. Lynn, where are you going? Roy asked. I'm going to kill the bastard... What the fuck was that? I'm going to kill the bastard who took the throne, Lynn said. Wait, I'm going with you, Eliwood said, stepping in front of Roy. Well, wait, I'm going too, Roy said. Fuck, I've already forgotten Hector's voice, whatever. Oh, yeah, no, I remember. Is there any more space in your team to let me in? Hector came, holding his axe over his right shoulder, with Sarah following him behind. Oh, no! Roy thought inside his mind after seeing Hector, but Sarah tried to get his attention with some faces she was making. This is it, Roy. We have to finish this before this war ends, Sarah whispered to Roy. Lynn nodded. Thanks. I'll need help as much as I need it. Well, yeah, that sort of goes without saying, doesn't it? Then let's go, Hector said, running deeper inside the castle, along with the assassination group to recover the throne while a huge battle was occurring outside the castle. One too few C's, you've written there in occurring. Outside Kylan Castle. In the air, Florina was riding her Pegasus, but she was having sudden thoughts when she glanced at the castle and remembered Lynn and the others infiltrating it. I need to aid Sir Hector. I need to aid Sir Hector, she said, commanding her Pegasus to fly to the castle. Inside Kylan Castle, we changed the scene to Priscilla's group, making their way further inside the castle, while attacking the outnumbering and annoying resistance of soldiers. Take this. Ah! A guard was killed by Chris, but he was stuttering and trembling all the way to see the blood coming from the body. Blood, he said, scared. Guy backed away, blocking a slash of another sword. It's something wrong. Well, I didn't expect it to kill anyone now, but I just did. Guy defeated the soldier. These are the kind of things that happens in a war. Haven't you experienced this before? Something like that, but with less blood. Chris was suddenly sprayed by blood in the face by a raven, who by accident sent some blood from a soldier he killed. Blood, he said, fainting with a dumb face. Raven walked towards Chris. What happened to him? What happened to him? A guy glanced at Chris, then at Raven, then at Chris, then at Raven. He just was surprised to see blood on his face. Then do something. We can't have him in this state. Well, Guy kneeled and shaked Chris by the shoulders. Hey, wake up. We are on the middle of the war. Wake up. May I suggest to clean his face first? Rebecca suggested, cleaning his face with a napkin. We're gonna get a whole fucking subplot about Chris reviving from his unconsciousness. This sounds fun. Alright. Chris was awakening groggily. What happened? This is what happened, Rebecca said, showing the napkin with blood. Blood! Chris yelled, fainting again. Martha appeared. What happened to him? He asked, pointing at Chris. Then he woke up again. What happened? This is what happened. Blood, he said, fainting again by the napkin that Rebecca was holding. Let's wait 10 seconds, Guy suggested, and they nodded. This is what I was saying about the repetitiveness of AuraChanneler Chris's humour. It's just the same fucking thing over and over and over again. He's like, oh, is it funny now? Is it funny yet? Do I need to repeat it a couple of more times for it to really sink in? You haven't picked up on the subtle nuances of this particular joke yet. 10 seconds later. What happened? Chris asked groggily. This is what happened. Lucius took the napkin from Rebecca and he threw it outside a window. A soldier hit your head. Very hard, Guy said, sweat dropping. Chris rubbed his head. Well, I need to be more. He stood up. Careful next time, right? Yeah, said Rebecca, whatever that may have been. Hey, look, someone is coming, Marth said, looking to the other side of the corridor. It was Roy, Lynn, Elliewood, Hector, and